Well, hello there, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. My name is Mr. Dogboat333. Say hi, Twitch chat. We're back with Thousand Week Reich. Now, for all the offline people, last time we played this was with Hungary. I'm not going to say what happens there because the parts are still uploading, but needless to say, it's a lot of fun. I think the last time we did a long-term YouTube series, it honestly might have been TNO with Ireland. Which is a little embarrassing because that was a long-ass time ago, back when Toolbox Theory dropped. Let me check my YouTube to confirm. Actually, I think it was New England, actually. So Kaiserreich, still a long time ago. But that's neither here nor there. We're back now. Well, I did Socialdem Hungary. That's the thing. Yeah, Dunehammer did do Lib Dem. That's right. Anyway, so it's been a while since I've done a Twitch series, which is what I'm trying to say. And so I wanted to hop in and do something a little different with the Twitch series. Now, I already got down to all of this stuff. I already did Thousand Week Reich offline, but I haven't done it on the Twitch channel yet. So I figured it would be a nice, fun little change of pace. And so, here we are. We're going to be playing as the Russian Republic. Led by this guy, Rogozin. We're right against the eastern coast. I don't know how easy this is in theory, but I know at the very least we don't have to worry about threats from both sides, because one side is just the ocean, and I don't think China can do anything, or Korea, or I don't think Japan. So we really just have to push west, which is really, when you think about it, the opposite of Russian history, because there's always been the push east. Now we're doing the push west. So fun little thematic thing, I suppose. So we're going to go ahead, start that. Just try to rush the smaller worlds between you and the Soviets and you'll be fine. Exactly. No problems at all. Knocked on wood there, so I should be good. And I did not just jinx myself. Fuck off, Facebook. I don't care that I have notifications. So yeah, the Russian Republic. It was between this and the breakaway that can do the Russian Empire, by the way. But I think I'll just do that one offline for an offline series, because that one does seem a little bit more RNG dependent. So let's go ahead. There's really no differences other than stats. So I'll go with Grigory Mikhailovich Semyonov. I know that name somewhere. Probably fucking TNO, I had to guess. Ranger or old? I honestly might start with a lower guy and try to train him up a bit. So let's go with Lev Vlasyevsky. Why not? I'm making pasta. What the rest are you doing? Well, I'm making a YouTube video. Or, starting a YouTube series, I should say. Can't speak to the rest of Twitch chat. Let's go ahead and check out the starting situation. We're led by Anatoly Rogozin, the hated marshal, which just gives us crap. Possibly one of the most controversial men in modern Russian history. Anatoly Rogozin was born in 1893 to a Cossack upbringing. A veteran of the Great War, he made a name for himself during the tumultuous Russian Civil War, eventually fleeing to Yugoslavia when the White armies collapsed. Serving the interests of white emigres in Yugoslavia until the state's dismemberment by the Third Reich, he joined the newly founded Russian Republic in the Far East. Having been one of the few remaining high-ranking officers in the Republic, he was appointed as Chief of Staff by Alexander Kerensky in 1948. After Kerensky's unexpected assassination in 1951, like most assassinations are, I expect most are unexpected. Unless you ask the CIA. Anyway, Rogozin assumed emergency powers to the dismay of the citizens, who quickly found themselves under the boot of his armed forces. A deeply unpopular figure amongst pro-democracy supporters and extreme fascists alike, Rogozin's grip on power remains tenuous at best because the calls for his dictatorial rule to end grow louder by the day. There we are. So, we have the memories of Kerensky. Following his tragic death in 1951, Alexander Kerensky's influence continues to affect every aspect of modern social and political life in the fledgling Russian Republic. Ever since Anatoly Rogozin took over as military leader in his place, calls for Kerensky's promised democratization reforms have grown into an undeniably massive political movement, crippling the state's ability to rule effectively. So what is it with HoI 4 mods and not letting Alexander Kerensky live? You hate to see it. Although I guess they're changing that with Kaiser Reich, because he won't lead Russia at all. Which, I guess he lives at least still. So, take what you get. Next, the Siberian War, which says we don't have cores on all of our territories. Oh yeah, we don't. Well, that's interesting. What do we have cores on? Looks like we have cores on these coastal ones, then. Bring back zombie Kerensky. True, honestly. So we don't have a lot of Siberian cores, interestingly enough. So, and that just gives us some crap overall. Despite our best efforts, our army does not have control over all our inland Siberian territories. The terrain is too vast and sparsely populated to hold, and we'll have to expand our internal influence first if we ever wish to move onwards to Europe. Next, we have an influx of immigrants. As have many Russians fled their native country, while the Bolsheviks won the Russian Civil War, many more have since started arriving in droves to the new republic. Ranging from distant artists to wealthy businessmen and even refugees from the chaos in Western Russia, our government has been so far ineffective in accommodating the unprecedented population boom. So more monthly population, which I'm always a fan of, but hits a stability, which I'm not a fan of generally. And then American military advisors. The US of A was quick to intervene in the collapse of law and order in the Far East following the surrender of Japan, quickly settling up the rejuvenated Russian Republic. To help build up our new state, the highly esteemed US military is serving an advisory role to help train and build up armed forces into a professional army without the need for Yankee oversight. Wonderful. So we have semi-industrialized economy, a dictatorship, civilian economy, limited exports, and limited conscription. Fleeing the Soviet drones color me shocked. I know. So let's go ahead. Let's get research done. Let's get better guns. Let's do mechanical computing. And let's do construction 1. Military factories. We'll get working on guns. Probably support equipment. It's probably the play. Free civilian factories. Looks like Vladivostok is our best bet to start building stuff, so we'll do that. And hope we get some more stuff as it goes along. We also have dockyards, which is nice, especially coming off of Hungary. So let's just work on convoys for now and go from there when we need to. Well, got a couple options here, don't we? Our flag's at half-mast. Our nation continues to mourn the death of our late President Alexander Kerensky, and the mourning masses have turned to rage against our government for failing to uphold his ideals. We'll have to tread carefully going forward, lest our people's collective rage and grief consumes our nation whole. Excellent. I don't think I need a tutorial. I'm good. Thank you, though. Oh, and we need to put these guys somewhere, so let's put them on the Boryat military Okrug border. We need a Russian Navy better than the IRL one. So any functional Navy. Agreed. Agreed. So the US has control over Sakhalin, which is interesting. Very interesting for sure. In the wake of the collapse of the Soviet authority, the United States launched an invasion of the Far East, installing a regime under the name of the Russian Democratic Federative Republic, belonging to itself as As a continuation of the Republic in 17, the Republic called upon all Russians emigrating mainland to Vladivostok in the name of democracy and stability. Chief among these returnees were none other than disgraced former president of Russia, Alexander Kerensky, whom the Americans installed as interim president to create the ideal Russia. Free and democratic. Over the next few years, Kerensky and the Provisional Duma worked day and night to restore freedom and stability to the region, all while drafting a constitution based on the one they wrote 30 years earlier. However, this progress came crashing down in 1951 when the Russian Fascist Party bombed the Duma, leaving Kerensky and several other, more minor politicians dead as martyrs. The ensuing turmoil proved too much for Prime Minister Chernov to handle, and days after the attack, the military took control of the government and declared martial law. Russia enters 1952 with an uncertain future ahead, as pressure from within and enemies from without threatened to topple what may be Russia's last chance of democracy. Slova Rossi. Well, what do you think the chances are that China goes Daily or Japan goes Ultra and Dog is suddenly in a lot of trouble? Please, no. Was Kerensky still kicking about in the 50s? When did he die in real life? Because I could have sworn it was the 60s or late 50s, so it might not be that big a deal. I don't know, though. I do not know. Oh, this is all beyond my pay grade. Our nation's state is once again one of chaos. Protesters are attempting to tear apart what we salvaged from the Republic. But juntas agree that it would be best if Rogozin publicly spoke out against the injustices of these protesters. He's going to calm them down, speak to their hearts of those who really love our Republic, our Russia. Those that do will naturally stand down. Right? Oh, so we have the Okrug as a puppet. For now. It seems. I don't know how long that'll last, though. He dies ROL in 1970, so even longer than I figured. That makes sense, then. You can get Kerensky to Russian Standard HoI 4 for a new overhaul. I think I've had either Hungary Germanics German agents? Ooh, familiar. Yeah, there goes all the news events that kick off 42. Which I'm still getting used to, because I'm still getting used to this mod, but it seemed like it had been forever since Rogozin introduced martial law across the country, and to say it was unpopular was an understatement. Protests were on the streets on a daily basis, and the Americans seemed discontent. Frustrated, Rogozin paced around his office. How could he curb the unrest? It was quite minimal in decoration. His desk had only an empty ashtray and a half-empty glass, and then at once he thought up what to do. Getting up from the table, where he was sitting pensively, Rogozin moved to the door. As he opened it, he intercepted an assistant. "Come here." "You're Vasily, right?" The assistant cautiously approached. "Yes, Mr. President. What is it?" Rogozin approached him and whispered, saying, "Listen carefully. The situation on the streets is out of control, and we need to resolve it quickly. You know the military radio? Go tell him I'll be there tomorrow." Vasily nodded quickly. "Yes, Mr. President," he said, before disappearing in a flash. The next day, Rogozin entered the station. As he moved to the broadcasting room, escorted by armed detail soldiers, he thought to himself. He wished to remain in power, but alas, he truly did not have a choice. In all likelihood, the Americans would take action if he remained in power. If he reestablished democracy, then he would have no chance of re-election. Perhaps he thought he could reach out to a minister. By the time he had that thought, he reached the broadcast room. It was his time. Russians. I'm addressing you today as your friend. We are in crisis. I assure you that this declaration of martial law was a necessity. Had it not been for this, we would have fallen into civil war once again, just as the fascists want. He wiped his brow and sipped on his water before continuing. I too desire democracy, but it is no secret that we must make a better Russia first. If you are a true lover of freedom, then you shall heed my words and end this protesting at once. Spasibo. 1% stability? That's cute. Okay, we gotta focus on these first. Let's do the Provisional Duma first, because I'd like to, not lose even more political power. So, disbanded Provisional Duma is going to be summoned for speech. They will witness Rogozin doing what he does best, ensuring stability. We must convince them that he's us and that democracy is coming. However, the people need to be prepared for it. We must be prepared for it. Hope we go positive route for this Russia. That's the plan, I think. I think what I have roughly planned for this series, I'll do, or for 1000 Week Reich, I'll do a democratic Russia, which is going to be this one. Then I'll do a more right-wing Russia. Ah, cripes. Which is probably going to be the Russian Empire over here. And then I might do a commie one. Oh, Norwegian thaw. You love to see it. I think... Well, I think this is the one where they overthrow... Well, Quisling is still in there, the fucking Quisling. Who's the Nazbol for the Soviets? I think the Nazbol was, is Brezhnev. But I think a lot of people already played him already, like, series-wise. Granted, people have done the Russian Empire, too. Let's go ahead and affirm our TA commitments. As we need to ensure our stability and continued growth, we need to make sure we continue cooperating with the Toronto Accord. We shall send letters, declarations, requests, and most importantly, representatives. We need to improve our relations with our key players. In time, we might liberate all Russians and keep them safe, but even though we try as hard as we possibly can, we not do it without powerful backers. Fuck Quisling. I can drink to that. In fact, I will. One of my favorite historical tidbits is that the Norwegian government, after they retook and kicked the Germans out, legalized capital punishment only to execute Quisling. There we go. You love to see it. Good energy, sending your way, Foxen, apparently. At 3:17 a.m. in his modest residence just across from the Duma, Socialist Revolutionary Party leader and co-founder Viktor Chernov has quietly passed away at the age of 78. Chernov was extremely intelligent ideologue, born to an impoverished family of serfs, eventually rising as one of Russia's most prominent socialists. Having thrown his weight behind Kerensky's Provisional Republic in 17, he had campaigned tirelessly, fighting the old Tsar's landlord-serf system that had plagued him and millions of other Russians for centuries. Fleeing to the United States when the Bolsheviks won the Russian Civil War, Chernov was among the first of the old guard to arrive in the reformed Russian Republic, enthusiastic about reigniting what he hoped would be a rurality free from corrupt, self-centered landlords. While Chernov served as prime minister, he would ultimately not be able to hold power, as he was replaced by the military following the killing of Kerensky. As news spread of his passing, the senior party officials have called an emergency meeting to discuss the future of the Socialist Revolutionary Party. Many have hypothesized that new party leadership would become hotly contested to the point of potentially fracturing the already fragile union of left and right SRs. Rest in peace, Viktor Mikhailovich. Base give Quisling the Mussolini treatment. True that. British control in West Africa. Well, that's a little underwhelming. Alright, I guess we'll lose the political power here. No Republican survived the use of violence for political means becoming an acceptable strategy. So it destroyed the ancient Roman Republic, transformed the Weimar Republic into our worst nightmare, and as the battling in the streets continue to plague us, it shall surely spell the end for the Russian Republic as well. Something must be done to save us before it is too late. Through extending the military curfew sounds as though it is restricting freedom, it is in reality saving the freedom of our great democracy, allowing it to live another day. There we go. Alright. Give a quick... Yeah. I already read that one out loud, I think. Improved computing machines. Let's do it. Eventually we'll get the new generation of carbines. Extend the curfew. Next, deal with our two diseases. Crap, we're going to be losing political power once we get this, but once we finish this, we'll be a bit better off. We need to start fighting the two diseases that plague our wonderful republic, fascism and communism, both extreme opposite ends of the spectrum. It's time we rid our republic of these tumors. Our people will not be influenced by such terrorist groups. It was them who caused this madness to begin with, surely. Something like that, hopefully. Got old Korea. I was confused with the flag of the Philippines. Oh, Greater Syria. I forget, to Syria, they don't... They have a pseudo... Uh-oh, Yeah, they have a pseudo-focus tree. It's not that much, though. Former CIA kid, Kerensky. Wait, I know Germany doesn't involve in the Civil War. If it does, TA doesn't involve because the Russian-German War is one of the best parts of the TR Russian factions. We'll wait and see. I think... I don't know. When I've played, I haven't seen them intervene in the Civil War, but I also know that it's apparently it's been a common complaint. I don't know if it still is, but apparently it has been before. We're going after the commies or the fascists. Honestly, I don't think it matters too much. So fortifications or law and order. So cores or fortifications. Might want to do cores. Do Norway, they have a focus tree, you can finally get... Ooh, true. Might have to do Norway now. I did promise you I'd do Norway, Foxen. Let's do disease of the heart. Communism, the disease of the heart. It plagues the human heart, and by extension the soul. It distorts the desires of the people, misguiding them into ignorant liberty that restrains them more than the Tsars ever tried to restrict them. We need to cut it out carefully from the heart. It is a tumor, after all. Not always incurable, but needs removed on time. These ones surprising on this timeline. The TI had Kerensky killed to keep the Republic divided. Oh, okay, I get what you mean. I don't know if that makes entire sense, but I understand what you're saying now. Too often the TAs are super OP in this. German AI doesn't stand a chance. Iraq and Jordan unite. Egyptian revolutionaries crushed. Interesting. And now they are Italian. Very interesting. Italy denounced by Britain. Italy's making moves. Old Atlee's kind of not handling it the best. We'll see what happens there, of course, but yeah. France wins the EFC. Next let's meet with the protesters. In order to prove we are the allies of the poor, we need to meet with moderators into the protest. Slightly risky and certainly nothing we're comfortable with, but we're dedicated to saving the Republic. In memory of all those who all we stood and stand for, we shall meet with them and perhaps do some negotiating. The pizza people will rise. Hey. Free resigns. Interesting. And now the Malayan emergency. Civil unrest in Bulgaria. Japan renounces the right to war. So that looks good for us. Labour wins the elections. Still. Interesting. I'm coming off a game where the Conservatives with Butler won, so seeing this is neat. And that's the timer, so I'll do the outro real quick for the two people. Thanks as always for watching. Like the video, leave a like. If not, feel free to dislike. Check out the comment section if you have any comments, feedback, concern. If you want to see me do stuff like this live, exactly like this live actually, Twitch is a place to check it out. Also a bunch of links to Patreon and Discord and the second channel as well. Thanks as always for watching, my friends, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye. That didn't end it.